When we think of animated villains, we picture grand spectacle, cackling masterminds, dramatic capes, world-ending schemes. But Titan from Megamind doesn't work that way. He's unsettling precisely because he doesn't look dangerous. He's awkward, ordinary, pathetic even. And that's what makes him so disturbing. Unlike traditional villains who announce their evil with theatrical flair, Titan emerges from something far more familiar: resentment dressed up as niceness, entitlement masquerading as devotion, and rage hidden beneath a nervous smile. He's the villain who gets worse the older you get because suddenly you recognize him, you've met him, maybe you've worked with him, maybe you've rejected him. Where other animated villains lose their menace with rewatches, Titan gains it. Children see a goofy bad guy. Adults see something far more sinister, a psychological profile that exists in the real world, wearing the same harmless mask. Before he becomes Titan, Hal Stewart is nobody. Not in the dramatic sense of having lost something, but in the hollow sense of never having become anything. He's a cameraman with no apparent ambitions.
Are there any questions? Go on. Yes. You in the back.
I'm sure we'd all like to know what you plan to do with us.
No meaningful relationships, no defining characteristics beyond one obsessive fixation: Roxanne Ritchie. Hal's entire existence orbits around Roxanne. He doesn't have hobbies that don't involve her. He doesn't have friends. His apartment is a wasteland of arrested development, the dwelling of someone who stopped growing emotionally around adolescence. This isn't love. Love requires seeing another person as fully human. Hal sees Roxanne as a narrative device in the story, where he's the underappreciated protagonist who finally gets the girl. She's the reward he's been waiting for, the prize that will validate his empty existence. Hal presents himself as harmless, awkward, safe. But watch carefully. His niceness is transactional.
No matter what side you're on, you're always the loser.
Every kind gesture comes with an unspoken invoice, a debt he believes she's accumulating. When Roxanne talks about her problems, Hal doesn't really listen. He calculates how to position himself advantageously. This is the nice guy delusion in perfect form. The belief that sufficient proximity plus basic decency equals romantic entitlement. Hal genuinely cannot understand why Roxanne doesn't see him romantically. In his mind, he's been so nice for so long. Doesn't he deserve his reward? What makes this disturbing is how common this mindset is. Hal represents thousands of men who confuse basic human decency with extraordinary virtue, who treat friendship as a down payment on romance, who interpret rejection as incomprehensible injustice.
I want to talk to the guy who loves being a cameraman and eating dip and being a nerd and being not as scary as the Titan Pal.
His niceness isn't kindness, it's strategy, and when strategy fails, it's discarded immediately. At Hal's core is a fundamental delusion. He is the main character of reality. The universe, he believes, is structured around his eventual triumph. Good things happen to good people, and since he considers himself good, good things should happen to him. This belief was never challenged. Nobody explained that other people aren't NPCs in his narrative, that they have equally valid internal lives. Nobody helped him understand that the world doesn't owe him anything, regardless of how nice he thinks he's been. This delusion is dangerous because it's unfalsifiable. Every setback is temporary. Every rejection is a test. He's conditioned himself to see contradictory evidence as proof he's right. After all, heroes face adversity before their victory.
Live?
You're alive. I'm alive.
When Megamind accidentally gives Hal superpowers, it doesn't corrupt him, it reveals him. The serum doesn't create a monster, it removes the limitations that kept the monster hidden. This is crucial. Titan isn't a good man corrupted by power. He's a delusional man who finally has the means to force reality to match his fantasy. The power doesn't change his worldview, it validates it. Suddenly, he is special. He is chosen. Everything he believed about deserving greatness is confirmed. But Hal receives power without wisdom, strength without responsibility, ability without character development. He never learned humility because he never faced real consequences. He never developed empathy because he never had to consider others as equally real as himself. The power doesn't fill the emptiness inside him. It just gives the emptiness the ability to consume others.
Huh? Let's all laugh at the really cool guy, huh?
Initially, Titan plays hero, but watch closely, it's performance, not principle. He saves people because heroes save people, and he's supposed to be a hero now. His treatment of people reveals everything.
Metro Man?
You should stop comparing me to Metro Man!
He's dismissive of those he saves, viewing them as extras in his story. He name-drops his heroics constantly, seeking validation like a child demanding applause. Most tellingly, he immediately views his powers as leverage with Roxanne. Now surely she'll see his worth. The heroism is entirely self-serving. He doesn't ask what the city needs. It's all about his glory, his recognition, his reward. The fantasy shatters. Roxanne's rejection is the earthquake that destroys Titan's entire worldview.
It's Titan! It's Titan, not Hal!
He's the hero now. He has powers. He saved the city. How dare she still reject him? Hal doesn't accept rejection and move on. He doesn't question his assumptions. Instead, his ego performs a catastrophic inversion. If the world won't reward his goodness, then the world is wrong. If being nice doesn't work, he'll abandon it entirely. If he can't be loved, he'll be feared. Notice the speed of his transformation. There is no gradual descent. He pivots instantly from hero to tyrant. This reveals that the heroism was always a strategy.
We're saved! We're saved! What's your name, new hero?
It's Titan.
Thank you. Thank you.
When the strategy fails, he discards it and reaches for domination. His demand that the city owes him exposes his transactional worldview. The rage was always there, just waiting for permission to emerge. Contrasting arcs. The genius of Megamind is how it contrasts Titan with Megamind himself.
Guess what, Buster Brown? It's made from copper.
Both start as bad guys. Both receive opportunities to change. But their responses couldn't be more different. Megamind confronts uncomfortable truths about himself. He accepts responsibility for creating Titan. He chooses to grow even when growth is painful. He learns to care about people genuinely. Titan does the opposite at every turn. He never questions himself. He never accepts responsibility. Every setback is someone else's fault. He doubles down on his delusions, each time growing more dangerous, more entitled, more convinced that everyone else is the problem. Megamind's arc is about a villain learning to be human. Titan's arc is about a human choosing to be monstrous.
Oh, no. I was thinking more like the morgue. You're dead!
Whoa. This isn't how you play the game.
The most unsettling truth about Titan is this: he wasn't made evil by the power. He was already broken. The power just revealed what was always there: the entitlement, the rage, the inability to see others as real, the conviction that the universe owed him everything. Titan is terrifying because he represents what happens when delusion meets power, when resentment finds opportunity, when someone who was never taught empathy gains the ability to enforce their will without consequence.
We now have confirmed reports. Titan first thought to be this.
He lingers in your mind not because he's powerful, but because he's familiar, not because he's spectacularly evil, but because his evil is mundane, petty, and utterly human. He's the villain who could be real. He's the guy from work, from school, from the coffee shop who seems harmless until he isn't. And that makes him unforgettable.